Hello, everyone. Got some exciting news about Mapbox Bridge. I've finally been able to add a little bit more of a freeform selection and stitching tiles together. So currently, when we select something, um, we basically select one tile like this or one image, and then here's another one over here. So we can't select a freeform select like maybe this area, but now we can. So if I go ahead and click on this, I can then draw a box, click left click to start it, left click again to stop it, and then move down to draw your box, left click again then. And then once you have that, then left click on it, it'll start its download, and then there you go. So now we have just that area. Now, um, there is some caveats on it. One, first of all, this is, this it still could be buggy. It's still testing it, so let me know. Two, I need to explain how tiles work. So you're not necessarily always going to get just the image you have in your box. Okay? The reason being is that tiles, the way all web maps work are based on tiles, which in a tile in our example is one single image, and it's an image at a zoom level. So um, let's zoom all the way in. Let's go back to our regular selection, and this is how it works now. So if I click on this, you can see that we got the little small area. This is a tile, one tile at a zoom level. So basically one image at this zoom level. If I zoom out a little bit and click, I'll get a larger image or a larger tile. So basically these maps are made up of these individual little tiles at a zoom level. So at a bigger zoom level, I'm going to get one tile or one image, and that's that tile. So that's one tile there, that's one tile there. So you can see, and that this is how they're served up from all map servers. So again, it's tiles at zoom levels. So this whole map is made up of a bunch of tiles. You know, at closer zoom, you're going to get smaller tiles. Okay, that's how it's currently served. So that's why we have to stitch tiles together. So at this zoom level here, I've got this tile here and this tile here. Right now it's all we can select, but what if I wanted this whole area here? I can use my map, my freeform, and drag and select it. And now I can get that. Now I'm getting two tiles. I'm actually maybe getting more than just two tiles because you can't tell necessarily on this. I could be getting a piece of this tile here and a piece of that tile and a piece of that tile and a piece of that tile. So I mean, depending on where you draw your box and how and the zoom level, this box here could potentially have a bunch of tiles, even up to 100, depending on the zoom level and in the area or more. In this case, I think it'll have maybe six. So let's take a look. Let me turn on our debugger here, and let's see how many tiles does this actually have. Let me go to my download folder, and let's go to let's see how many tiles this actually ends up downloading, just to give you an example. So basically we have an option here in settings now where and I wouldn't recommend turning this on and leave it off, but for debugging purposes, when we're using the freeform select, we can tell it to actually download each individual tile or each individual image that it's going to be stitching together into one bigger image, or one, not necessarily bigger, but one image. So let's go ahead and click on this. Let's see how many tiles that downloaded. Okay. Um, did I not turn that on? Oh, I didn't. Maybe I didn't save it. Let's save settings. Yeah, I didn't save it. So let's try that again. Okay, so let's zoom in real close here. Let's see. Okay, and first of all, let's see what we're, so here. Okay, sorry, I just had to turn it off for some reason. It wasn't off. So that's one tile. That's two tiles. All right. So let's clear that. So one, two. So let's take a freeform select. Let's just do this, this, and this. So right now I'm going to get probably two tiles, but I may have grabbed this tile and this tile and this tile and this tile because I'm not exact. So I'm probably going to get actually more than two tiles because we're crossing the tiles up here, here, and not just those two that I selected because I can't tell exactly. Um, and that's the other reason is that with this box here, you're not going to necessarily get this exact picture because we may be grabbing this tile and this tile, so it's going to, and these tiles surrounding because we're not exact, so we're not going to get exactly what you expect, which is this area. You may get pieces around it. Let's see. So let me click on this. All right, and let's look at see how many tiles we actually downloaded. So see, we downloaded. Let me clear that out again. Let's see. Click on that. Okay. So see, we actually downloaded four tiles because this box is getting this tile and this tile, but a piece of, I guess, maybe this one or a piece of that one, a piece of whichever one it is. If we turn this back off, oops, again, see, still buggy here. So um, you'll get issues with it, but let's see, let's zoom back in. So again, with it off, we're getting that tile and that tile, and then when I select it, here, let's see. So I can't tell whether I just got that one tile and that tile. I think I probably got a piece of the other one. So again, let's see. I can't. Where is my? How'd it go? Get all the way down there. That's weird. Ah, stop. Okay. So click on that, and then let's see. So it says I only got one tile. Is that right? Mm, I don't think so. I don't think that should have been more than one tile. Let's see. Oops. So again, a work in progress. Let me try that again. Mm, okay, so see, in this area here, I'm getting four tiles, so probably getting, the main tile here that I want, but then a piece of a tile here, and a piece of a tile here, and a piece of a tile here, because this box is covering several individual tiles. So that's how it works. So you're not going to necessarily get exactly what you're, why does that keep on going? Exactly what you're picturing. Um, but it'll give you something close, and eventually, what I'd like to do is crop this. So when we draw this, eventually, the next step would be to take this and maybe I have four or five tiles combining, but I really only want this area is to somehow figure out how to crop that image of those four different tiles combined together into just this space. So that would be the next step. But still, I mean, it does some interesting things. You can still get, some of what you're looking for. So again, so to enable free form select or box select, you just click on this box here. It turns green. Now you click once to start the drawing. Click again to stop to select the other point to make a box. Move it down to make a box, left click again, and then once you have the box selected, you can left click on the box. Sometimes you might have to double click if it doesn't take it the first time. You'll know if it works if you get the little circle spinning, then that now you know it's downloading. Now the other thing you can do is that if you left click and hold on this box, you can drag it around. So I can drag the box around over here and click on that area and get a different area. So I can drag it all around I want, um, and click a different area. Now again, this still takes into account zoom level. So if even though I had that box selected and I'm zoomed out, you're going to get a different image if you're zoomed out versus if you're zoomed in. So zoom level still matters just like it does um, in the one without the box select. If you want to turn off box select, then just go here and click it off. If you don't like to select the box you selected, say you make a mistake in drawing this box, again, the easiest way, the trash can does work, but the easiest way is just to just turn it off and start over again. If for some reason this hangs and it spins for longer than a minute, then you can just refresh your browser and it'll go away. The other thing is if you try to take a large area, let's do a really large area here, remember, and so large area here, okay, and if I zoom down, remember, at the big zoom, we're getting just maybe a couple tiles. Okay, so it's not that big of a deal. But remember, when I zoom in, I'm going to change this to, and I'm going to have a bunch of tiles. So I might have a tile here, here. At max zoom, I might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 tiles per row. At max zoom, it's something like this. I could have probably 100 tiles. So you're going to have to wait a while if you're going to try to do something like this at max zoom. So just be aware that you could be downloading a lot and probably don't want to do something like this at max zoom. Okay, so that should explain that. So the other setting here is on your settings is this is whether you want to save when you do the box select to save those temporary files. These files here are the ones that are going to be stitched together. This is the result, and then here's your height map from it. So I would recommend not having that on unless you want to see, unless you're debugging it and trying to figure out and help me to look at it and say, okay, I've downloaded 4 tiles. Are they stitching the tiles together correctly? I think they are, but I could use your input and saying, okay, I've got these 4 tiles and it doesn't look like it's what it's supposed to look like. Um, you know, so you can download each tile. You can tell it to download the tiles that it's stitching together. I would turn this off unless you're trying to debug. Save it, and then again we'll go and click on that. And then we'll see that now all we have is the one integrated tile. This is the stitch tile together. And then this is the preview of it. Okay. And then once you've selected your tile and it's downloaded and stitched it together and given you the final version, you can do what you normally do to export it to Unreal. You can resize it and send it to Unreal or download the height map. On some of this stuff, since we're stitching tiles together, we're getting a different resolution. You might want to add blur radius on it depending on how it imports into Unreal. These are things I want you guys to check out and give me some feedback on and see how it goes. Now, there's one other part to this. There is a little web server, an image processor basically that you'll have to download and run locally on your machine. It's going to look like this here. It's not going to say anything, and it's included in the I'll give you a link to the project, but basically it's you just download the project from GitHub. Here's the zip project. You unzip it, and then you have this dist folder. Now you can copy this dist folder and rename it whatever you want. So let's say I want to copy it to I don't know. Let's just put it on my after drive here. Give me some space here. Let's copy that dist folder and we'll call it Unreal Mapbox Bridge underscore backend. Okay. Just do something like that. Right. And then open that up. And then you're going to need to run this little guy. So right now, without that server running, if I click on this, it's not gonna process the images. It won't download it. So you need to start this guy. If you're This is only for freeform select. If you're not using the freeform select, you don't need the you don't need that backend processor. If you do want to use that freeform select, again, just um, double click this guy here. It'll start. You can minimize that window, and now your images will process. Okay. Um, if you want to run, now this is just a Node.js project here. If you want to, you can just, when you downloaded the project, you can just run that. If you're familiar with Node and already have Node installed, you don't have to run the executable. You could just run npm install and npm start, run the project directly, and you could look at the code and see what it's doing. Or if you don't have Node, I built it so where you don't need Node installed. You can just run the exe. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.